Hey you guys, how you doing? Welcome back. If you're new to my channel, my name is Juana and I am the crafty Puerto Rican. So today we have a project. We're gonna be embroidering using the Brother SE 1900 single needle machine, and I'm gonna be using a tote bag to do this project. This is the tote bag I'm gonna be using. I got it from Cricut. It's usually used for sublimation, but I bought it because I love the fabric. It's thick. And also, I'm going to be showing you a new item for my shop, and I can't wait to show you. So let's go at it. So before I start the process of embroidering the bag, I wanted to share something with you. I ordered this from Amazon, I think it was a week and a half ago or a week ago. These are a new set of embroidery thread. There are 25 spools in the set. Those were the threads that I started using when I got my SE 1900, and now I'm using it also with my multi-needle. Even though most of my multi-needle machines are Madeira, because Madeira has the big spools. So let me show you what I mean by that. These are the small spools that Broad Thread, the brand from Brothers, from the Brother machine. They have their thread that are smaller spools. And I have a couple of sets of them. They are amazing. The colors are, great. Um, so I got this offer. I believe it was for $59.99 in Amazon. Now this morning I checked them out before I started this tutorial, and the price still $59.99. It's an awesome price. Madeira brand spools. They run from $7.99 to $8.99 depending on the color and depending on where you get it from. Either straight from their company or All Stitch, which I usually order from. Madeira threads are amazing. That is what I'm using on my multi-needle right now. And also I use my little spool if I need a color from Broad Thread. And my multi-needle, I have no issue with using that thread. This is a good option because this is an excellent thread. I'm telling you, people, you will not get disappointed. So yeah, so now let's go to the project. We're gonna be using the SE 1900. And I'm gonna be hooping this. So the way I decided to do this is to float it. You can also hoop it the regular way. I'm gonna be using tearaway stabilizer. And this is the design that I'm gonna work on. It's only two colors, all right? And then this is the tote that I bought from Cricut. This is infusible ink or sublimation tote, but also, of course, you can embroider on it. So I decided to embroider on it because I like the size and I like the quality of the fabric. So let's get to it. I'm gonna go ahead and go through the hooping. First thing I'm gonna do is to hoop the stabilizer. You've seen this done before. I'm gonna spray it with the temporary adhesive for fabric. There's a couple of brands that you can use, like I mentioned before. So the first thing I'm going to do is position the design, okay? And I'm eyeballing it in the middle, more or less. You can measure if you want to know exactly the position, but this looks like centered to me, right? And you want it to be like the most centered you want of the toad. I want it a little bit lower, like here, and so, okay? So I'm going to pin it because then I will have to turn the toad inside out. So the first thing I'm going to do is pin it in position. Make sure that is straight. little bit crooked here. Straighten it up here. Looks straight to me. Like I said, you can measure if you want to with, measuring tape, make sure. But to me, it looks like it's in the middle. Okay. Pretty much. This is an 18 and it's right on 9. You know, it's the 9 in here. This is 18 on the seam. So it's pretty much in the middle, so I'm good. Now I'm gonna put this inside out. Because remember, we're gonna be embroidering on the tote, and for us to be able to hoop it, we have to float it, okay? So this is inside out. If you see the design in there, you see? And then we're gonna put it on the hoop, okay? Fold it in half. Just like when you float a shirt, we're gonna follow the same thing floating the tote. All right? Make sure that it's in half. And then we're gonna make sure this is the part that's gonna go to the machine. So my machine outside is this way. So I want the tote and this part to go this way. All right. So I'm gonna be using the notches of the hook, which is right here. These 2 notches right here, and we're gonna hoop it. Okay. I can see my design is here. You pass your hand in the middle, make sure that it's flat. And if you see, this is the design in there. And we're gonna embroider and opening this like that and allowing the machine to embroider in here. Okay, that's the way we're gonna hook it. All right. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna to make sure that this is not gonna shift in the middle of the embroidery. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna tuck it down with some extra straight pins. Just since we floated it, I want to make sure that that tote bag is not gonna move in the middle of the embroidery. So I'm just gonna go use some straight pins. I'm just gonna tuck it down. Just put it up here, making sure that the pin, once you put it, it's not gonna show the needle coming down. All right, just flat like that. Okay. And since this is a 12 5 by 12 repositional, you're gonna be working on this side when it's done, and then you're gonna be working on the other side for the second part. Okay, so let's take this baby off to the machine to be embroidered. I'm gonna start the machine. I never started with the hook in, so I'm gonna turn it on. Okay. I check my bobbin. I have plenty of bobbin. And I mean bobbin thread. So I'm gonna place here. Always starting with the 2 on the top. That's the way I always do it. Then I would, Again, you can refer to my previous video on this. And then I'm gonna move this fabric back. And this is the part that we're gonna be doing. I'm gonna make sure that all the handles are away from the embroidery field. Very important. I have plenty of space in here since I'm not dealing with the other half. You can use like something to hold it back. Some people use tape when they do these kind of things. I'm gonna just pinch it to make sure that when I'm embroidering, it doesn't accidentally go in the field of embroidering. I got these things in the dollar store when it used to be $1. Now I think it's $1.25 or something like that. But I just pinch it back here just to make sure they come in handy, for these things. And yeah. Sorry if I'm blocking you with my arm, but I need to do this. Oh, they all fell on the floor. So I chose my thread already. I'm using the broad thread black. Using broad threads is number 2. And then I use the Madeira pink. This is kind of like shocking pink. And the number on this one is 1900. Is the number of this? No, 1990 for the pink. All right. I'm going to go ahead and look for the design. And we have gone through this before. So I have my USB already in place. So now I'm going to be looking for the file. So it's right here. I'm going to choose which one I'm going to start with. In this case, the file number 1 is the ending of the design and file number 2 is the beginning. So this is the ending of the mom word, right? So I had to look for this file right here. And that should be file, it should be this one right here. Let me see. I'm looking the little TV like I always do. So that should be, yeah, the ending part. But that it's rotated the wrong way. So now I'm going to press OK. That's the one I want. And then I'm going to do set. And then I'm going to rotate it because it's facing that way. And I want to face it the other way because if you notice, the design is facing that way. This is the opening of the back, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and press rotating here. And then I'm gonna be rotating it to 90 degrees. And that's the way, if you notice this positioning, is the positioning that I have right in the back, right? You notice it's the same, okay? So now that I've done that, I'm gonna say okay. And then I'm gonna end the edit because I'm not gonna edit anymore, okay? And when it comes to moving the needle up and down, do not touch the needle position, just keep it in that place because that needle is aligned with the second file. If you move the needle, you're gonna mess up the design. And I'm going to trace it. So I'm gonna go trace it because I know the needle is in the right place. Make sure that your machine clears the wall. Remember, this is a 5 by 12 hoop. And if your machine is close to a wall, it could hit the wall and you don't want that to happen. So I always separate the table to make sure that I have enough clearance. It happened to me once and you don't like that noise that machine makes is awful. So you don't want the machine to get damaged. So I'm gonna go ahead and trace it. And it looks good to me. I'm gonna go ahead and do it again because when I started, I wasn't pointing at the design so that you see the tracing. All this time, let me pinch this in here. Okay, I'm gonna trace it again. Make sure that it covers the whole part that you want it to be embroidered first. You see? So that's why you only go the half that you are working with. And it looks good to me. It clears. I have plenty of space. All right. Check again that none of the handles are on the way. Make sure that nothing is under the hoop. Also, make sure that everything is clear. You see the importance of using the straight pins because this hole, you have such a small field to work with when the machine move around. You might, the design might move because you only use floating. So because of the floating, it can move. So the pins ensure that that doesn't happen. So since I already like the way it looks, I'm gonna take this. I don't have a need for the design anymore. So I'm gonna go ahead and thread the machine. I haven't threaded yet, and then I will see you in a little bit, okay? So now that I am done tracing, I'm gonna do okay. And then I'm gonna do embroidery. And you notice this first box in here. We don't need this for us to be able to get rid of that. All I have to do is go to this icon down here that has a negative and a plus. And then I'm going to jump one color. And I'm going to use this plus sign on this icon of the spool, plus, only one. You're going to only jump that part. You're going to press it once. And then you're going to do OK, and it disappears. So it's going to go straight to the embroidery. And the first color is going to be the black color. Okay, and let's press start. And if you notice in the screen, the O is going to stop here because something else is coming in there. So if you see here that there is an empty space, don't worry about it. It's just that that's where the other file is going to start. When I first did my 5x12 embroidery, I was a little bit confused when it did that. It on some designs, and I said, what happened? I was, figuring out why is it doing that? But it was because, that part is going to be completed by the other file, when it does the other file, okay? this is the way the screen is gonna look when it changes color. It just shows you the color that it goes, right? I'm gonna press start. Says that it's finished, and I'm gonna move you around, okay? So what I'm gonna do now is that I'm gonna take this off the hook, like same way I do when I'm done with my embroidery, but I'm not done. I just need to change it to the next two parts of the hook because it's gonna start embroidering the other part. I'm gonna lift it up, and if you see these two notches in here, those are the notches you're gonna move it to. Make sure that you don't do these two in the middle because it's gonna mess up the whole thing. You have to move it up and do the last two notches, okay, and push it down. All right, so now you're ready to start the other part of the design. Not concerned about keeping this straight because this is done. I just want to concern that this is out of the way. Everything is out of the way. So go and you're gonna choose the second file. When it's finished with the first one, it's gonna ask you the design is done, and you're gonna hit OK. That you don't want to embroider anymore. You're gonna end this session. You're gonna go down here and you're gonna just end it. You see, like, you know, it says OK to cancel. Current pattern selection. I say OK, I'm done, and I'm gonna start things all over again, and I'm gonna select the other file like in the beginning. All right. So we're gonna go here. It's looking for file. Okay, so I'm gonna go look for the file, and I'm gonna select this. I already did, that's another one because that's the one that I do before. Should be this one, making sure. And it says blessed. Yeah, that's the one. That's the second file, but that's the beginning of the wording. Of course, I had to rotate it again, so I'm gonna say okay. And I'm gonna go into set, and then I'm gonna go rotate. I'm gonna do 90 degrees, and that's the thing that I'm gonna embroider right now. All right. I'm gonna say okay. I'm gonna do an edit because I'm done editing. I'm gonna go to same thing. I'm gonna make sure that everything is fine. And now I'm gonna trace like I did the other one. I'm gonna be tracing, okay? And I know it's gonna be okay because we already did it, but I wanna make sure that needles are not in the way and things like that everything is clearing. So I'm gonna say okay. I'm gonna rotate. So it's doing the same thing that it did before. Okay, all the way down there, all the way down here. Oops. And now by doing that, I notice that that needle is in the way. So I'm gonna remove it because I don't want any issues. Okay. So I remove that needle. But it did clear everything, and it should clear because I have plenty of space to embroider. But I'm gonna do it one more time so that you guys see. So I'm gonna do it again so you guys can see what happened. You went down here, you went square, you went down there, it's clear, and it's clear. Okay, then you go back to the beginning. All right, now what is left for me to do is press that's okay, and I'm gonna go to embroidering, and then it's the same thing is gonna happen. Remember, I don't want that box in there, right? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go down here, press the plus, press the spool icon with the plus, press OK, and it disappeared. And I had to go back to the to thread the machine with the black color thread. Okay, and that's what I'm gonna do right now. All right. Okay, so the machine is threaded, and we're gonna start the second part of the embroidery. All right, here we go. So this embroidery is done. I'm going to take it off the hoop and then I'm going to clean it off because it has a lot of jump stitches that I need to clean around. So I will see you in a little bit once I'm done doing that, okay? So this is the result of the embroidery and I'm pretty pleased with the result. The one thing that I will probably change is the density on the front. When I did my test embroidery, I did it on a t-shirt material and it came out pretty good. But for this material, the font is a little bit, in the light side, the density. I will increase the density on the font, the black one, just to make a little bit more, like thicker, but it looks good. The font on the last part is fine. This is perfect. I think it has to do with the fabric of the tote. But other than that, I love the design and it looks pretty good. So this is the finished product. I really enjoyed making this project. This thing right here that you see, it is from the temporary adhesive spray that I use. I just damped it with some water, it did not come out, so I plan to use some treatment, some cleaning treatment, and see if it come out. But other than that, I think it came out pretty good. I like the embroidery because it was a fast project. So if you still have some other days gift to add up and you have an embroidery machine, you can add up this to your gift list. I really appreciated you spending this time with me. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe to the Crafty Puerto Rican. And for those who are already subscribed, thank you. I will see you pretty soon with new content. And if you have any question about this process of embroidering using a 5x12 multi-positional hoop, all you have to do is go back to my previous tutorials, which I have a couple of them that explain you how to do it, okay? So I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Hasta luego.